morning, good morning, good morning. And thank you so much for joining me for the podcast of The True Power from Within. I do pray each and every day that this podcast touches you in the most amazing and encouraging way. So today, I want to talk about perseverance. I feel like I've been in a season here lately where I'm having to surrender self to God, right? Because it's so easy for us to give up in a season of hardship. It's so easy for us to give up in a season where we feel like things are not moving as fast as we want them to. And it is refreshing to know that you can be in a season with God where you surrender, right? Because life is hard. Life is brutal sometimes. We actually watched a movie yesterday where they were saying that life is brutal, and it's true. It's true. But God's word tells us that we need to persevere, right? Because Philippians 1:6 says that God began doing good things with you, and God is continuing that work in you. God will finish that work in you when Jesus Christ comes again. I am sure of that. You are not in a place where you are right now for nothing. You're not in a place of trial and tribulation right now because God has left you or he's not listening to you. But can I tell you something? We can't pray and worry at the same time. We can't we can't doubt and ask God for a blessing at the same time. We can't give up in a season of hardship because we don't see anything happening. Perseverance is such a strong mindset, okay? Because, I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been in network marketing for almost, 2.5, 3 years, right? I've been in 3 different companies. And I'm going to tell you, I am not a 6-figure earner yet in network marketing. But do I quit? No. Did I have to make some adjustments? Did I have to realign myself with people that I know that is God focused, God fearing, and God centered? Yeah, absolutely. But does it mean that I quit? Does it mean in a season where our brick and mortar business gets hard, or on Mondays and Wednesdays when we don't have a lot of customers, that we just quit? No. Perseverance is a mindset that God says that we must have, right? We have to trust him in those small seasons. We have to trust him in the big seasons. And I'm going to tell you, in this season in my life, that, not only am I trying to surrender all of these things, my whole self and my mind and everything to God, I have to continue to persevere, even though I don't see all of these things that I'm asking for happening yet. I have to persevere even in that season when my family don't support me. Okay? I'm going to be really real this morning, okay? Because a lot of times we don't have family that backs us, right? I've got my husband, I've got my kids, and there are some of my family that that watch this podcast every day, and there are some that encourage me along the way. But some of those closest to me, my sisters, my brothers, right? They don't even talk to me. But I'm going to tell you something, okay? There was a time that all my family talked to me, because when I was handing out sacks of weed, everybody was talking to me. And I'm just going to be real, okay? But everybody knew that I was on drugs, and nobody tried to save me. When I was doing worse than everybody, people talked to me then. But they also talked about me. My husband says this all the time. He says, when I was homeless, right? People ran and told that. When I was doing drugs, people ran and told that. When I was stealing and robbing and doing all these things, people would run and tell that. But when you start doing something good, nobody runs and tells that, right? Nobody wants to support you in your good seasons. And sometimes that affects our perseverance, right? Because we want our family to support us. We want our family to love us. We want our friends to support us and love us, right? And they don't, because they don't see the vision, right? And here's what a lot of people that know me, but they don't know me, because they knew me in the past, but they don't know me now. They don't know my perseverance. They didn't see the struggle, the mental struggle, the physical struggle. They didn't see all of these struggles to get me to where I am today, right? They didn't see all the times that I was crying. They didn't see all the times that I was depressed or I had anxiety or I didn't know how I was going to take care of this or take care of that, right? They didn't see all of that. They only see what I put on Facebook. They only see what I put on Instagram. They only see what I say on my, or hear what I say on my podcast, right? They don't see the struggle every day. They don't see the drive every day. They don't see any of that, right? And sometimes it affects us because we feel like those are the people that should support us the most. And that can affect our mindset and our perseverance. And it can do all of that. But see, what people don't see about Melody, right? What they don't see about me is that I'm not just doing this for me. When I say, hey, come do this with me, or hey, do this, I'm not just thinking of me, I'm thinking of us. But see, some people want, when you get to where you're going, right? When you get to the destination, or they feel like you're at the destination, then they're going to want to jump on the train with you, right? But they want to talk about you prior. They want to tell you that you're crazy, that your vision is too big. But let me tell you something. God says just persevere. Just persevere through the trying times, because what you're doing is your journey, right? It's your learning experience. It's your lesson. It's your blessing. Do we still pray? Do we still pray for those people? Yes. But you have to know what your vision is. You have to know why you're waking up every day and why you're showing up every day. You cannot allow somebody else to dictate how you're going to wake up and show up every day. You cannot allow somebody else what they're saying about you or they're not saying about you or their support. You cannot allow them to dictate how you're going to show up for your vision every single day. And we do that. Or we say, you know what, when I have this big house, or when I have $100,000 in the bank, or, you know, when my business is making $1 million a year, I'm going to be happy. No, you're not. Because that comes with a mindset. Okay. And God said he'll give you that 6-figure business. He'll give you everything that you're asking for, but he's got to know that you're going to be faithful right now in this small season. He's got to know that you're going to persevere regardless if you're making $400 a week or if you're making $10,000 a week. He needs to know that he can trust you in your stewardship. He can trust you in your giving. He can trust you in those seasons where things are not happening like you want them to. Are you going to persevere? Are you going to persevere in the hard times? Are you going to persevere when people are talking about you? Are you going to persevere when your vision has not yet come to fruition? Are you going to be faithful and persevere in a season of growth or a season of darkness? Because I can tell you, my biggest growth in my life came from the darkest season of my life. And I think a lot of our growth, the serious growth, the mindset growth, the heart growth, all of that comes in a season of darkness, or a season of trouble, or a season of not enough. And I think we have to really, really get into God's word, because I'm telling you, when I get discouraged, right? And I used to, get upset. I used to, you know, tell my husband all the time, I don't understand why this person doesn't support me. I don't understand why this person, but it's not even about that anymore. It's about being in a season of surrendering to God and saying, God, you know what? I know you're going to send those people that are the right people for the right path, for the right reasons, for the right vision. You're going to send those people. You're going to send the people that I can pour into and empower every single day. You're going to send the people that I can lead and that want to go on this journey with me to change their life or to be better or to do better. You're going to send me these women that want to find their purpose and live intentionally every single day, to coach them into their purpose, to get them out of self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and all of these things. And you're going to allow me to pour into them so that they can live in their purpose. But I'm in a season right now of God is saying, are you going to persevere? Are you going to be a good steward over what I've given you right now? Are you going to continue to keep going? And that's my question to you today. Are you going to persevere in the hard times? Are you going to be faithful in the small seasons? Are you going to be faithful when people are talking about you or they're not talking about you or they're not talking to you? I'm going to tell you something. At the beginning of this podcast, I used to go on there and see how many people viewed my podcast. I don't do that anymore because I don't care who views this and who doesn't, because I know that God is going to allow this podcast to hit the ears that it needs to hear. Right? I know the people that are going to support me and the people that are not going to support me. But that's okay, because God says get up every day and show up. I'm not getting up and showing up every day on this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on this podcast for me. I'm because I could find better things to do in the morning. Right? I could get more into my word, but God says, no, I want you to show up every day, and I want you to every 3 days a week and do this podcast, because there's somebody that's going to hear this that you're going to help. I didn't think I was qualified for this. I didn't think I was qualified to share God's word. I mean, my whole intention was just to share my story. And God says, no, I want you I want it to be less of you and more of me. And I said, God, I'm not qualified for this. I'm not qualified. Like, I mean, look where I've been. Look at my life. But he doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And this is a season of my podcast where I've got to persevere. Because even though I've done 150 something podcasts and there's not a whole lot of views, I think I have like 550 views on Spotify. I'm going to tell you something. It's not about the views. It's about persevering to a bigger purpose, to a bigger vision, right? I know what my vision is. I know what my purpose is. And I have committed to surrendering it all to Him, to know that in His timing, in His will, things will happen. Do I have any doubt that I will be one of the top 20 podcasts in the world? I don't have a doubt. But I know in God's timing. Do you think that I show up every day because I don't believe in the vision and the purpose that I have for my life? I show up every day because I know what God's doing in my life. I can feel it in my soul. And that's what I'm saying to you today. Do you have that big vision? Do you get up every single day and persevere and say, you know what, God, this vision is crazy, but I know that in your will and in your timing, it's going to happen. I'm going to persevere in this small season, in this season where I feel like things are not working out the way that I want them to work out, but I'm going to trust you and I'm going to surrender it to you, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep digging into your word and reading your scriptures and your promises every single day, Lord, and praying to you, and know that you're going to show up at just the right time. We give up too easy. We give up. We give up. We throw our hands in the air. We begin to worry. We stop praying. We stop reading. We stop meditating because we're not seeing things happening. See, that's the problem with today's society is we live in a microwave society, right? We live in a society where we want things quickly. We want things to happen immediately. And when they don't happen immediately, we say, you know what? Forget it. That's not working. But when God puts you in a place and you're in alignment, you will feel it in your soul. You'll feel it in your spirit. You'll feel it in your heart. And at that point, it's up to you to change this mindset. Get in the right mindset and say, God, I'm going to persevere. I know there's going to be trials and tribulations. I know that things are not going to go my way all the time. But God, you know what? I know my vision. I can see it. I know that my kids will be homeowners. I know that, our businesses will be 6 and 7 figures. I know that I'll be able to write checks for 4 and 5 figures to donate to special needs organizations or to the homeless or to do a transitional home. I know that. When you know your vision and you know what God has for you, and you know in your heart and in your gut that you can get up every day and show up for God and show up for those people in your life that are waiting on you to show up for them. I mean, it's so sorry, I'm an emotional basket case. When God gives you a vision and it's bigger than you and it's scary, but you know that it's from God, and you know that the why that makes you cry, when you know that why, the why that when you think about it or you speak it, it makes you cry, that is what you need to show up for every day. That's what you need to persevere for every single day. And I'm going to tell you something. As a child, I didn't have a lot of options. As a young adult, I didn't feel like I had a lot of options. But I'm going to tell you something. My kids and my grandkids will know that they have options. They will know that their mom and their dad fought every day and persevered no matter what was thrown at them, because they're going to know that there's a legacy to be left behind. They're going to know that they can drive by a transitional home and say, my mom and dad started that. They're going to know these things because I chose and their dad chose to show up every single day and persevere regardless of what they were going through. And I want to read you one more verse. And that is Galatians 5 and 9. We must not become tired of doing good. We will receive our harvest of eternal life at the right time. We must not give up. Friend, I know it looks hard. I know you don't feel like you have a lot of people backing you right now. I know you feel like all may be lost. I know you may feel like it's been so long since you've heard from God, or since you felt like he was hearing you, or that he saw your tears. But I want you to know this. He sees you. He hears you. And he's saying, child, I just need you to persevere. I need you to keep fighting. I need you to not grow weary. Don't worry. Just come to me and pray and seek my face and know that I am working for you behind the scenes. Stop listening to what everybody else is saying. Stop worrying about who's going with you and who's not going with you. Stop worrying about who's talking about you. Stop worrying about how many followers you have, or how many people is watching your videos, or who thinks you're crazy. Stop worrying about that. because the why and the vision that I put inside of you is so much greater than that. But you have to believe in it, and you have to wake up every day and you have to show up for it, because it's the purpose, it's the vision, it's the dream. When your dreams scare you, you're moving in the right direction. When you wake up every day and you pray and you continue to persevere, God sees you. He hears you, and he's working behind the scenes, but he's saying, child, I need to know that in this small season that you are going to persevere, that you're going to get up every day and fight. You're going to get up every day and show up, even though you're not making the money that you want, even though you're not in the job that you want, even though you haven't been able to start that business yet. He says, get up every day and show up. Show up because somebody is watching you. Show up because your kids are depending on you. Show up because your husband is depending on you. Show up because your wife is depending on you. Show up because that stranger that you haven't met yet is depending on you. I want you to know that when you get up and show up every day, you put your trust in God and stop worrying about who, when, what, and where, and just be a good steward over what he has in front of you right now. Drown out the noise, drown out the negative self-talk, drown out all of those things and begin to get in your word. Read the promises every day that he has for you. Read the stories about the people in the Bible and the things that they went through. And know that just because this was written many years ago, it still very much applies to our life today. And you'll see the perseverance, and you'll see the people that went through things that weren't fair, and you'll see the people that were less than that were not qualified. But God called them anyways, just like he's called you. Just like he's placed that vision inside your heart, and those, that vision and that why that is so big. But he's saying today, just get up and show up. Show up on the hard days. Show up on the days that you feel like I'm going to cry all day. Show up on the days that you are depressed. Because God is a healer. He is a healer. He is a God of the impossible. But we have to get up every day and fight, even when we don't feel like it. We've got to get up every day and say, you know what, God, I know that it is so hard right now. And I know that I am not where I want to be. But God, thank you that I'm not where I used to be. Thank you that your vision and your will for my life is so much greater than what I can see right now. God, I choose to come to you and give up all of the negative self-talk and all of the doubt. And I just want to have faith, God, and I just want to believe in you. And I just want you to do your will in my life, not my own, even though I don't see it. I just encourage you today. I know it's hard. I know you don't see those things happening that you want. And I know that it's probably been a long time. But God is saying, just keep showing up. Keep showing up. Somebody's depending on you. Somebody's watching you. Your vision's going to come to pass, but I need you to continue to persevere in these hard times. Don't give up. I just need to know that you're going to be faithful in these small seasons so that I know that you'll be a good steward in those big seasons. So God is saying to you today, child, don't give up. Keep pushing through the trials and the tribulations. Keep persevering when people are talking about you. Don't worry about who is not going with you, because the people that are intended to go with you will be put into your path. I will bring them to you. He's saying that trust in me in this season. Give it to me. Stop trying to carry it on your own. And today, it's hard. It's brutal. But your life has so much more purpose than what you see right now. And I just want to encourage you today to hold on to the vision, hold on to the promises, continue to persevere, because God has got something amazing coming your way. I know it's taken a long time. I know you feel like it may never happen, but continue to persevere. Don't get weary. Don't get tired of doing good. Continue to do the right thing even when nobody's looking. Continue to get up and show up every day when you feel like nobody's supporting you, because God's got you. You're going to come into a season of harvest. You're going to come into a season of abundance and overflow and favor. And you're going to say, wow, I didn't see that coming. But God says, because you continue to persevere in the hard times and you continue to show up and you continue to believe and have faith in me, child, I've got you. So today, keep fighting the good fight, because God sees you, He hears you, and He is going to bless you in due season. So I hope that I added value today. Thank you, whoever's hanging out with me this morning. I can't see who's on here, but thank you for hanging out with me this morning. And I do pray that you have an absolutely amazing day. Go ahead and share this to your social media if I added value to your life. And I do hope that you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye-bye.